are doing great job for helping you, trying to just give you guys as much as information possible through people like us. So the topic for today's session is how to prepare for product-based companies. So when we talk of product-based companies, what are the things that I'll discuss today? Because this is a very common topic, and I'm sure one or the other person, like, this is very common topic that remains in our head all the time. We keep asking, other people this question all the time. This is one thing, and we keep getting answers all the time. But I just, I'm sure if this question was there in your head from one or the other place, you might have, got some sort of, I'll say, suggestions from someone. I'll just try and bring everything on one page, and I'll try and give you guys as much as information as possible. And needless to say that getting into product-based company is a lot of hard work that you will have to do. So if any one of you, if you're thinking I'll give some shortcut, some tips, some smart work, so let me tell you, smart work obviously is need of the hour, but without hard work, it's really not going to work. And with coding, what will happen is that you will have to do a lot of hard work. So this is just a disclaimer I would like to give you guys before starting. So what are the questions that will get answered today? I've just tried telling you guys from beforehand. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So what are companies looking for in a candidate? What are the important things you should focus on? What is the on-campus and off-campus way? How to master data structures and algorithm? Okay. So next slide was supposed to be my introduction, but I think you guys have done a great job on that. So I'll skip it. So now there is a lot of, I'll say, there's a lot of, I'll say, competitiveness for getting into product-based companies. But, before I go ahead and start telling you how to get into product-based companies, I just want to make sure that you guys have a clear idea that why you should get into a product-based company. Okay. So when I say why product-based companies, so there are various reasons. Number one is good pay. Okay, so there are two things I'm going to tell you here. Okay, number one, I'm going to tell you the pay, that how amazing the pay is, and I will break a myth as well, which many of you might be knowing, and many of you might not be knowing. So, but I'll break the myth over here. So basically, when you hear, that there is a pay of, it's a common that if someone pays in Amazon, Google, Facebook, they have a payoff. Let's say in India, okay, if you are placed, in other countries, you'll have a different pay. Different not in terms of pay, but just because it's or because of the currency exchange that's out there. So now let's say if you're placed in India, you will hear it very often that there is a pay of 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. So let me tell you what happens is that out of those 20, 30, there is a good amount of stock component as well, which you don't get in your back. That's not part of enhanced salary. You get some amount of it, on a yearly basis or some quarterly basis or so. But even if you remove the stock component, these guys pay the highest salaries to software devs. Okay, so one of the highest salary payers are these product-based companies. So on an average, you can expect, easily, like minimum I can say is 1 lakh rupees per month in your bank account if you're working for a product-based company. So this is one thing that attracts people a lot. So another thing that's out there is that this 30, 40 lakh also attracts people a lot. But many times when people get placed, then they realize that out of those 30, 40, there was a good stock component as well. And the heart kind of, gets broken. I just wanted to make sure that this doesn't happen with you guys. So I just gave you that information. But still, if you remove that component as well, the pay is good. So that's one of the reasons that people have the fascination for product-based companies. But if I remove good pay, I think what is even more important when you go ahead and work in your career, pay I think is secondary. Obviously it's important to lead a luxury life or whatever to meet the necessities of our lives, but on the daily basis you generally don't remember what is the pay you're getting. For you face the work that you do. The work has to be good. You should be learning on daily basis. So that's where product based companies again play a good part. So in case of good in product based companies, what will happen is that there will be there's a lot of innovation happening, and you write code from scratch to a great level. You actually do development. So in our country, I'll say in our country because I don't know much about the other countries, but in our country what happens is that even though the title is software developer for many MNCs as well, even though the title is software developer, we actually are not developing things. We are either fixing bugs or something like that. So in case of product based companies, you can be kind of assured that if you are a software developer, you will be developing things. Okay, when I say developing things, you'll be writing code, you'll be creating apps, you'll be writing features. Developing things does not always mean that writing everything from scratch, but maybe adding features. So as a result of which, what happens is that if you are doing some work, you are gaining experience. You're working 9 hours a day, let's say 10 hours a day, whatsoever work you're doing, you are learning, and this learning stays with you. You can spend the money that you're getting, but the learning, more you work, more learning you have, more challenges you face, more learning you have. And you actually get a lot of challenges. If even if you try and get out of your comfort zone, you will get challenges. And this will happen frequently in product based companies, and as a result of which you get to learn a lot. And even if you have to go ahead and switch to some other organization, they would be happy to help you, because the happy to have you, more challenges, because the kind of experience that you have had with the current organization, that's amazing. You have learned a lot. If you want to be a software developer, you want to develop stuff which many people are using, which is going to happen. And then the third thing that we have is good people to work around with. I'm not saying good people in terms of behavioral things. That's very subjective. People can be good anywhere, but I'm talking about that generally in product based companies, you'll be working with best minds of the country. So they again push you a lot. So there is an environment which is highly competitive. Okay, so if you like such kind of environment which is highly competitive, again, it's a good place to go. And all these things combine to give you a good growth as well. And generally, if you're in product based company, and if it's a a not India based company, like which major of the product based companies are, in that case, what will happen is that you will be able to easily move to other countries as well. Okay, so again, this should not be the motivation, but I just thought I'll spill this information for you. So let's say if you're working with Amazon and you want to move to US, it'll be really easy for you to move to US. Or like visa and rest of the things are different things, but it's really easy to move to Amazon Seattle as well. So this is one of the things that happens in many product based companies. So you can move to the other countries as well. But again, even if you're working in India, you'll have a good life, you'll have a luxurious life, because you'll having a good pay. So at the end of the day, you will be in an environment which is good. And needless to say, there will be a lot of hard work in these product based companies as well. So if you think that once I'm placed in product based company, I'm done for next rest of my life, it will be chill. No, there is going to be a lot of hard work, really lot of hard work. But as I said, that growth happens only if you're working hard. Growth never happens in your comfort zone. It happens only if you come out of your comfort zone, and product based companies ensures that. Another thing I would like to tell is that though the session is how to get into product based companies, there are many companies. Okay, there are many companies, there are many startups for that matter, who pay almost as equal as these product based companies, and are having even great work, like equal level of work, equal level of innovations, or even more than these product based companies. So if any one of you work hard, give your best to get into a product based company. But if any one of you, due to one or the other reason, if you're not able to get into product based company, that's not the end of the world. You guys can try in many other companies. Okay, and you guys can do really amazing. It's just that there these companies have really bloated price, because stock component is involved. But there are many companies out there. Okay, coming back to product based companies. So how to get into product based companies? Okay, I'll tell you, the path is very simple. There aren't many things that you guys have to do. There are just few things you guys have to do. Now, it's the only thing is that these few things are something that requires a lot of hard work. Okay, hard work is my favorite word. You'll keep hearing that throughout this session. Okay, so now when I say like, let's say these are few these are few product based companies that's out there, or or to a similar level. So the very first round that they have is an online coding round. Okay, and then they have subsequent coding rounds. Like, it will not happen that there is a round in which coding is not there. Rather, they don't have HR manager round at all. The last round generally they have is the hiring manager round. In that hiring manager round, there will be the manager. So basically, when you get into that company, you will be working under a manager. Okay, and that manager takes generally the final round, which is also called bar raising round in many companies. So now there isn't any HR level questions. It's just your your work experience, and it's just coding. So you will have a lot of coding rounds. Okay, so it's all coding that's out there. So if I ask you, what is the most important thing that product based companies look for in a software dev? uh, just I'll give you guys 1 or 2 seconds that what is the first thought that comes in your mind. So I'm sure you guys might be knowing, but again, if some of you are, let's say, in first second year, you might not be knowing as well. So based on your knowledge so far, I'll give you guys like 5 seconds to think. What do you think is the most important thing that a product based company looks in a software developer? I'll give the answer after like 5-6 seconds. So it is the good problem solving skills. Okay. And just now, in my introduction, it was said that we went for Google Developers Launchpad. It's a Google initiative for 2 days of initiative for supporting the startups. So there we met the hiring manager of one of the hiring managers of Google. And since our problem was pretty much in the same line, he had a good discussion with us. And he said that we don't look for like which language, which framework, or which a particular tech a particular person knows. We are just looking for good problem solving skill. Okay. And if a person is good with problem solving skills, he can learn any language, any tech, any framework really easily. Okay, this is what he said. Another thing, we had another discussion with the hiring manager of Adobe. Okay, and he said that we just asked that when do you guys generally hire? So he said that we are always hiring for people with good problem solving skills. So actually, the word problem solving skill is very common out there. Okay, they don't say competitive coding skills or a programming language, something like that. They just use the word good problem solving skill. So what is problem solving skill? Why do we need it, and how to get this problem solving skill that these companies are asking? So basically what happens is that problem solving skill, as the name suggests, is your capacity to solve problems, or how well you can solve problems. So now what happens is that as a software devs, this is what we do. Let's say we are given a problem statement. Okay, we are given problem statement. We will first understand what is the problem statement. Let's say all the softwares that you see around, even this Zoom for that matter, why was this Zoom software developed? So that people don't have to meet physically, they can just do meetings online, they can conduct webinars like this online. So this problem must have come in someone's mind, and the person might have gone to maybe a tech guy, that this is the problem I'm facing, and what do I go ahead and how do I solve this particular problem? Okay, so that tech person might have gone and thought that, okay, let's build a software like this where the people can come online, they can see each other, then went into the depth of it, how to just have these online sessions, how the network calls are going to happen, how people can just stream the video live. So they might have done that. So basically the whole process of understanding the problem statement to coming up with the logic to implementing it requires really, really good problem solving skills. Now, a bit of this problem solving skill we already get in our school by solving maths problems. Okay, so now if you see, there are so many subjects that's out there when we are in school. Okay, like literally so many subjects, but there is one subject that is there with us starting from, let's say, maybe, I don't know, upper KG, kindergarten, till 10th, 12th, and then again when we are in college. There's one subject that is always there with us, and that is maths. Because what happens with maths is very much similar to coding. Just like if you have to do anything, if you see, even if you're sitting for an exam to be an engineer, needless to say, you want to be a civil engineer, electrical engineer, computer science engineer, the exam will have maths, because maths is a basic for being an engineer, because it gives you a basic skills. Similarly, if you want to be an Android developer, or you want to be a web developer, or you want to be a machine learning engineer, or you want to be anything else, any sort of developer you want to be, problem solving skill is the basic. So that is the basic, on the top of which your problem solving skill and all the knowledge of technology and frameworks, they come together to make a really good software developer. And that software developer then goes ahead and builds the applications. Okay, so now coming back to the problem solving skills, so this is something that they look forward to, and that is the reason they have so many coding rounds, because through these coding rounds they want to check what is the problem solving skill of the student. So if I show you the selection process of Amazon, so on an average, the selection process for companies looks the same way, be it be product based companies, or even any other companies who are having who are hiring freshers, they have similar kind of interview round, placement process. So the first round is going to be a online coding round. Generally there are two coding questions, then there are, let's say, some MCQs. Now the MCQs will have some aptitude questions, some OS questions, and rest of the questions. And then I'll talk on this MCQ part as well. Then there are coding rounds. Okay, there are a lot of coding rounds. So there could be 4 rounds of coding interview, 5 rounds of coding interview, and on an average in a round there will be 2 questions that will be asked. Now generally what happens is that first round will be, I'll say, comparatively easy, and as you keep on going ahead, the level of question just keeps on increasing, and obviously the number of people clearing the round keeps on decreasing. So basically the level increases and the number of people decreases. Okay, so now when we talk of this coding round, I'll talk about how to clear this coding round, how to clear this particular online coding round. But even before that, there is one question, that how do I get to sit in the placement process of a particular company? Okay, what is the process of that? So now there is a question, how to get the right opportunity. I'll talk in detail about how to crack these coding rounds or coding interviews. But before that, the question is how to get the right opportunity. So for that, there are 2 ways to get opportunity with a company: off campus, on campus. By the way, everything that I'm telling today for product based companies does not only work for placements, it works for internships as well. Okay, so coming back, so we have to know that whether we are going off campus or on campus. So the only thing with on campus is that it's comparatively easier to get an opportunity, and you are kind of competing with less number of people. But that doesn't mean that if there are just 5 people, they will shortlist 1 people for sure. No, they have their standards. Most of the companies or product based companies, they have their standards. And if you are not meeting those standards, you will see that a particular company went to a college, did not hire anyone, and came back. Okay, why? Because none of the students over there met the standards. So this is the only place where you being in a college, where companies in coming in the campus is going to help you. That is it. But you will just have that liberty that you can sit in the placement process. Apart from that, some company is not going to hire you just because you are from this college, and any company is not going to disqualify you just because you are not from this particular college. If you are good, any company would hire you. Okay, so coming back, for on campus, again, the process is comparatively easy as far as getting opportunities concerned. You just have to you just have to work on your coding skills. You already have the opportunity with you. You just have to keep on going ahead and clearing the rounds that's out there. Now coming back to the off campus opportunities. Now for going to the off campus opportunities, you have certain options. Number one option is that you go ahead and you give your referral to someone who is already working there in these product based companies. So try and reach out to your network, see if your brother's friend, or your sister's friend, or sister's friends, just see if there is anyone around who can refer you to the companies. Number one. Number two is LinkedIn. Let's say you saw everyone around and you didn't find anyone who is working in that particular company. So what you can do in that particular case, you can just look for people who are working in these companies in Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and then you can connect with them on LinkedIn. Now let's say if you connect with someone on LinkedIn and the very next line that you say is that, hey, I want a referral in Amazon, why don't you give me the referral? Why would that person give you a referral? And now I'll tell you what many students do is that they just start, this is very minor thing, but will make a difference. So I would like to point it out, is that, the person didn't respond. Let's say you keep messaging that person, and you just, you're not following any sort of, I'll say, messaging norms. There's no messaging norms as such, but you're just not being polite to that particular person. And then you expect that that person will refer you. So that will not happen. So these small things make a change, that you you drop a message, you go ahead, send the connection request. Okay, and then what you can do is that maybe you can share that, hi, there, I got your I just found you on LinkedIn and you have really amazing profile. I'm really inspired by the journey you have had. Just want to share that I'm someone who has got this kind of coding skills. I worked really hard on my on my skills, and I was just wondering if you can help me with what is the right path to get into Amazon. Okay, so the person will then tell you that, okay, this is the right path. Maybe you can see for a referral, and then you can ask politely that, can you help me with a referral? That would be really helpful. So first build a connection with that person, and what you can do is, if that person is not responding, then you can maybe after a few days you can put a very gentle reminder. Hey, I know you are busy, but maybe if you can, I just thought if you got a chance to check my message. Okay, you should not be like, hey, why you're not replying. Okay, so they are not having any sort of, I'll say, they're not getting any sort of compensation. Obviously they'll get compensation if you get shortlisted, but you should be very polite to people over there, and you will be able to grab a referral opportunity. So your your agenda over here
having
is to
any
grab
sort
a
of,
referral
I'll say,
opportunity. You can connect with
they're
multiple
not
people.
getting any
You
sort
can
of
just drop
compensation.
multiple people message. Just be polite. You will get a referral opportunity. Okay, and this is how you can get a referral opportunity. I'll come back that once you have the referral, what is the next thing you have to do? The second thing that you can do is that you can make your profile on Naukri. So I'll tell you how Naukri helps. Is that there are many companies who go ahead and they conduct off-campus drives. Okay, so for those off-campus drives, they follow Naukri. So what will happen in Naukri is that they will go ahead, they will just look for data structures, they will put some filters. Your agenda there is to pass the filter. Okay, so they will put that person with good data structures and algorithm. Okay, so you should have data structures and algorithm on your resume or your Naukri profile, and you might grab a chance over there. So these are two things, two of the common platforms where you guys can go as far as referral is concerned. Now the other platforms are, let's say, places like Hacker Earth. Okay, where you can go ahead, and these companies, they keep on conducting hiring challenges. Okay, so if you go ahead, you participate in the hiring challenges, and if you perform good, you will get the opportunity for sure. So that's again one of the easiest ways to get into that. And you will see that these companies keep on conducting hiring challenge for especially Goldman Sachs. If you see Goldman Sachs, they conduct it for sure for the summer internship. Okay, and for the placements as well, and you can participate. Amazon conducts it as well, the online hiring challenge for, let's say, 2021 grads they might be conducting, and 2022 they might be conducting as well. So now let's say you have participated and you will be able to go ahead. Now coming back to that, let's say you have gotten the referral. Okay, let's say your resume is with a particular product based company, the HR opened it. Let me tell you, it takes seconds for an HR to reject a resume. They don't sit and read your complete resume. They don't, because they have a lot of resumes to go through. They just look for highlights. So what should be the highlights in your project, in your resume? To make your resume strong, you need majorly two things. Obviously, one should be a decent CGPA. Try and maintain a good, decent CGPA. It's not, I'll say, make or break. But what happens is that you keep on building an impression. So as people start seeing from the top, okay, so I'll be honest here that obviously if you're from, let's say, IIT or NIT, you build some impression. Like there is some points you got in the mind of that particular HR, but that again is not make or break. Let's say you are from a college that no one knows. Okay, so in that case, what you can do is that, let's say you have a good CGPA. Okay, then the HR will be like, okay, good CGPA. Then let's say they come the next point and they see that, okay, this person has got participated in ACM ICPC and was able to clear the regionals, or maybe participated in so many coding competition. He has got this rank on CodeChef, or he has got he has got maybe gotten to certain contests conducted by so many platforms, and the person is has done really great in the coding journey. So that's a big, like, it's like plus 100. Okay, it's like plus 100 in the mind of HR, and you're almost shortlisted. And on the top of it, let's say if you have a project, if you are having really amazing coding portfolio, okay, then even if you don't have the project, it's fine, you will be shortlisted. But if you haven't if you have time, try and get in time and do project as well. So only if you have exceptional rating portfolio, you will get shortlisted. But that doesn't mean that you don't look for project as well. I highly suggest that work on your coding skills, take your coding to a level, and then do some projects as well. Now talking about project, you don't need to make really heavy projects. If you have interest, you have time, go ahead and do that particular project. But on an average, even if you're doing a web development project, or you are doing an Android mobile development project, so let's say you are someone who is focused on coding skills, but you want to do project as well. You are you're focused that, okay, I have to keep improving my coding journey, I have to be the top rated coder of the country, something like that. If that is out there, but still, let's say, you have to do a project, you can do a web development project, you can do app development project, it will take, let's say, 3-4 months, and you will have a project in your kitty. So it's like your resume will get shortlisted in that case. On the other hand, let's say you got the referral from the manager of, let's say, Amazon, but your resume is not that strong, means that you might have multiple projects, you have done like 6 projects, but there is no mention of coding, there is no mention of your achievements on that particular resume. Your resume will get rejected. Okay, it will get rejected. On the other hand, I'm repeating that one thing that they really look forward to when they open the resume, okay, is the mention of coding achievements. And the reason achievements is important is, like, let's say, okay, so I'll give you an example. So let's say if you are a really good dancer, okay, but you're just dancing at your home, no one watches you, okay, whereas there's another person who is as equally good as you are, goes ahead, participates in the competitions, gets a lot of certificates. Whom do you think, when and let's say both the people, they go for a they go for a job interview for a dance teacher or something, who do you think will get shortlisted first? Okay, so what will happen is that, let's say, if the company tell them that, okay, you show me how better of a dancer you are, both of them might get shortlisted. But when they send their portfolio, obviously the person who has said that, okay, I have participated here, won here, will win. Okay, so this is where I'll clear one question, that if by what I am saying, if you guys are having this perception that having certificates makes your resume strong, then let me tell you that is not the case. Just having certificates will not help you. You have to, if the difference between just having a course certificate and the difference between actually solving problem and then getting the certificates is different. So you should be able to solve the problems, and then that should be backed by the certificates that you have. Okay, anyways, having certificates will, again, as I said, will give you some points, but just having certificates and not solving problems will not going to help you. I hope I was clear on what you guys are supposed to put on your resume. And resume building is not a task of 1 day or 2 day, it's a task of months. So if you guys are in second year, if you want to have a strong resume by the end of second year, you need to start working today. Or for the same for third year or people who are in final year. It's not like today you sit and you're like, I will make an amazing resume today. You can make a good looking resume, but you cannot make an impactful resume in just 1 day. For that, you have to keep working hard. So that's the thing. So coming back to this part that I told you guys, that in case of Amazon, yeah, so there are 20 MCQs, and then there are 2 questions as well. So I'll talk about this MCQs. So generally MCQs are from a language. So many people ask this question as well: which language I should follow? C, C++, Java, Python, which language companies prefer? I think I kind of cleared this in the beginning only, that companies don't have any specific preference, especially product based companies. They're fine with any sort of, I'll say, language, C, C++, Java. Because I'm telling you, if you learn one language, learning any other language is not difficult. It is not. I myself was a person in college who used to think that, I'll tell you what happened was that when I was in college, I used to code in C language. And I had my comfort in C language, but just because I saw many people doing Java, I thought that I will learn Java as well. And so many times, like literally so many times, I had Java in my syllabus as well. I just went ahead, literally so many times. I went ahead, I opened the book of Java, I would read things. I even did a course on Java as well. Okay, and that was an offline course that time, but I was not even like, I didn't even know the J of Java. I would read it, I would understand it, and I would forget it, and I would feel like Java is so tough. But when I came in my job, I was building, I was building apps on Android. Java was the language. I started, writing programs in Java. I thought that, okay, let me just try writing code in Java as well, because I was working on Java, and if I'm going for an interview, I have to write programs in Java as well. And I saw that, just because I started writing programs in Java, I became really good at it. And that's when I realized that, okay, it was easy. So that is what the thing is. If you think just by learning the theories of a programming languages, you'll become good at it, that won't happen. So don't worry about which language companies focus. Companies are fine with any language, C, C++, Java. Take up any language that you are fine with. First, master one language, and then take up any other language. And the way to master a language is by writing programs in that particular language. Okay, then we have problem solving skills, I think I already talked a lot about it. And to have good problem solving skills, you need to have data structures, algorithms. And data structures, algorithms, you might get MCQs as well. Like you will be given, let's say, a prefix expression, and you'll be asked to convert it into, maybe postfix or infix expression as well. Then you have operating system. Operating system is another very important thing. I was asked question of operating system in my final round of Amazon. I did expect the question of operating system, but I got a question of operating system. It was related to virtual memory. Okay, so I would suggest that if you guys, whenever you have operating system in your semester, you study it well. Then aptitude, you will generally have, for your MCQs. Then you have database management system, again majorly there in MCQs. And then computer networks is also one thing that might be there in MCQs, and then project is not there in MCQs. But what happens with projects is that companies will just discuss after, let's say, in Amazon, I think they don't even discuss projects, but in other companies, they might ask you basic questions like how to design this system or that system, and having project might help over there. Okay, so now coming back to how to master DS algo, or how to build the problem solving skills that I talked of. So to build that problem solving skill, you need to start your journey from where you are right now. Okay, so some of you, okay, I'm not able to see the chat. So generally I ask questions over here and I'm able to see the chat, but no worries. So just again, I'll give you guys a minute. Okay, just think, where are you right now in your coding journey? I'll tell you some of the common issues. What happens is that even before we start our coding journey, we just think it's too difficult. So if you if you guys can, maybe if you guys can recall that throughout the session, I haven't told that coding is tough. I have just said that you need to do hard work. And if you're doing hard work, you can go ahead and crack any sort of opportunities that you want. You can master your coding skills, like anything you can do. So coding is not difficult or it's not impossible. Yes, it needs a lot of hard work. Okay, and anything that is worth needs hard work. So if you're getting something really easily, maybe that's not that worth. Okay, so coming back, so where are you right now? So just you can again think on your mind that maybe you're you have not even started your coding journey, and you have maybe started your journey, you have not given sufficient time to coding. So why this is important is that, let's say, many people, they start programming and they think that, why I'm not able to think the problems fast, why I'm not able to why I'm taking so much of time. So you're taking so much of time because everyone at your stage takes that much of time. That is the average amount of time it takes to solve that particular problem. So always tell that to yourself that, okay, I'm pretty much early in my journey. That is why I'm not able to solve the problems. Maybe I need to give more time to the questions. So I'll just tell you how to start coding from scratch. So you just see where are you in your coding journey, and you can pick it up accordingly. Okay, so then the first thing you have to do is that you take up any language that you are you are already comfortable. If you're already comfortable in any language, you can pick up that particular language. Else you guys can pick up C++. C++ is a comparatively fine language to go ahead with. That does not mean that there's a problem in Java, C, or Python, but C++ is one of the commonly used language for competitive programming. So you guys can go ahead. It's fast, and it will, as you go ahead and participate in the competitions, it has STL, which will help you. I won't get too much into the depth of it. Then the first thing you have to do is that you take up this particular language. You work on the basics of that particular language. Okay, so when I say you work on the basics of that particular language, so just give me a moment. Like input, output, operator expression, loops, if else, functions, data types. So you need to work on the basics of it. For that, you can again follow a book, or you can follow any course. So if you are going into any course, let me tell you, the course will not do any magic. Okay, you will have to give your time, you will have to follow the course, you will get in, you will have to go through the content of the course, you will have to practice. And as I said, is that if no matter how many lectures you watch, how many books you read, if you don't write the code on your own, things are not going to change. So basically you'll have input, output, operator expression, loops, if else, functions, data types. Just give me a moment. Sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. There was some small technical issue. Yeah. So as I said, go ahead, write the programs. Okay, write the programs on your own, and that's what going to help you. Okay. So first, just know the basics of the language, like it's mentioned over here. After you have done this, you guys need to work on your logic building skills, coding skills. So for working on logic building skills, the way to work on logic building skills is by solving problems. Okay, so what you need to do is that you need to find problems that you guys can solve. Okay, so for that you can, if you are already coding on some platform and you feel like, yeah, I'm comfortable, I'm working, and I'm growing, my problem solving skills are growing, you can go ahead and you can do that. Else you guys can go ahead to mycode.prepbytes.com. The reason I'm suggesting my code is because it's the only personalized coding platform that's out there. Okay, you guys can check out there. By personalized, I mean that you will get questions as per your skills. Apart from that, if you're comfortable with any existing platform and you think you're growing, fine, there is no problem, just do that. And don't get too much into which platform I should use, this is good or that is good. All the platforms are good. As I said, that the reason I'm suggesting this is because this is having personalization. So all the platforms are having the questions. Wheresoever you solve the questions, you have to solve on your own. Okay, you will be able to do good, because I'm repeating, all the platforms are having good. Yeah. The other thing is that, let's say if you start getting into coding competitions and you have worked on your basics, you've worked on basic data structures, algorithms, now you need to solve really high level problems so that can crack ACM ICPC, or you can crack like really big coding competitions. In that case, you can just, then if you really want to practice maths, then you can go to websites where there are really difficult mathematical problems. Okay, but in the beginning you can just take one platform and start solving problem in that platform. Just don't get too much into the juggle of which platform to use and like waste 1 month in just that only. Okay, then after you have done that, uh, after you've worked on your logic building skills, I know when we are preparing for product based companies, we are just too impatient to just jump to data structures and algorithm. We want to jump to data structures algorithm as soon as possible. So you need to just hold over here. Before jumping to data structures and algorithm, you need to work on basic topics like recursion, searching, sorting. Okay, recursion is very very important topic, and if you're good at recursion, you'll be good at trees. Okay, I'll give you the topics of data structures algorithm. Okay, yeah. So important data structures are going to be linked list, stack, queues, trees, graph, tries. Tries, you can keep it for the end, towards the end of the preparation, you can keep it. Then algorithms going to be divide and conquer, greedy, backtracking, dynamic programming, strings algo. And let me tell you, here we are talking about product-based companies. So for product-based companies, you don't need to have average problem solving skills. You need to have really really good problem solving skills. So you need to solve like easy problems, medium problems, hard problems, all the problems. Now to solve hard level problems, you first need to solve medium, and to solve medium you need to first solve the easy level problems that's out there. So you need to solve all kind of problems that's out there. So I'm repeating, just average coding skill will not work. You might be able to clear the coding round, online in coding round. You might be able to clear the one round of interview or two round of interview, but you will eventually get rejected. So you need to work on your coding skills. And working on coding skills does not mean that just watching the videos I'm repeating, or just seeing the solutions. If you see the question and just see the solution and you think you have done the question, that is not going to work. That will not improve your problem solving skills eventually. So you need to solve questions on your own as much as possible. So, and the best way to make data structures algorithm easy is to work on your recursion as much as you guys can. Okay, work on your recursion because it's very 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 important. Okay, then after you have worked on your recursion, then go to searching and sorting. Start working on data structures, focus on building concepts and clearing concepts. So you should always you should not focus on solving too many problems. Solve less problems, but solve on your own as much as you can. And work on algorithms. Keep time and space complexity in mind. Solve mixed questions, company wise questions, solve mock tests. So first you need to master all the topics individually. Okay, and then you need to go ahead. Let's say once you have mastered the whole data structures, then you can solve mixed questions. Okay, mixed questions means that you don't know from beforehand that this is a question of linked list, okay, or this is a question that will be solved using heap. You should take that decision that we should use heap over there. And I'll just tell you, the best way to master data structures and algorithm, or the best way to solve problems, is that first you understand that concept really well. And for understanding the concepts of data structures and algorithm, any data structure, any algorithm or recursion, take this particular thing. Okay, I say this in each and every session. This is the smart work actually that you guys need, and hard work as well, that you take 4 to 5 programs from that particular topic. Okay, programs that's already written, and you dry run it. Dry run means you take pen and paper and run it, and just run it completely and come up with an output which should match with the output of the code. Do this will clear the concept of that DS algo in your head, and eventually you'll be able to solve the problems. Don't directly go to medium or hard level problems. First solve easy, then medium, then hard. I know you might feel like, why to solve easy, companies are not going to ask. Yes, they will not ask easy questions, but that easy question will give you the I'll say base for solving medium level problems. If you skip that, again, it's just like, let's say I would, like just like we are learning maths from the childhood. But if, let's say, when I was in a nursery, let's say I was in standard 2, and someone would have given me like how to find integration or differentiation, or to find area of a circle, I wouldn't be able to do that. But that doesn't mean that I was not able to do areas or rest of the things. I did it eventually, because the knowledge that is required to solve the integration differentiation was given to me from beforehand. Similarly here, if you think directly, you would skip a topic, you will skip questions, and then you will solve the problems. This is the problem that's going to happen. Your base will not be that strong that on the top of that you can solve those problems. Okay. So this is how you're going to go ahead and master data structures and algorithms. So I'll just give you the path, what I said. So first, learn the theory part, understand the concepts, understand the application of that particular data structure algorithm. Think on why, always, you will read on the applications that if you have to store the history of a browser, you need to use stack. Why stack? This question should come in your mind. Why stack? Why not queue? Okay. And dry run some standard code. And if you're not understanding something, work on it rather than letting it go. Go back to basics if required. Try and solve some questions. Increase difficulty level. Okay. So this is, the pathway that you guys have to follow. So I think I am pretty much done with the content that I had to give you guys and the information that I had to share with you guys. I would like to end this on a note that you can get placed in any company you want, no matter which college, which branch you come from. You just need to start working towards it. Let me tell you, all of you, who are watching this, that there's nothing that cannot be achieved. It's just that whether you want it or not. If you want something and you work hard for it dedicatedly, nothing in the world can stop you from achieving it. The only person who can stop is you. And if you want it, you are dedicated, you will get that for sure. Okay, so never think yourself any less from anyone else, and don't be overconfident as well. Even that doesn't work good as well. Okay, because sometimes we just tend to miss the things that's out there. But never think yourself any less from anyone else, and give your best. You will get your dreams. So I think, do we have, like, how do we take the questions? Are we taking the questions?
Okay, ma'am. So I guess the questions are done now. We can end this session, I guess.
Okay. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for conducting this and being there for almost 45 minutes now.
Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. I'm sure there has been a lot of our viewers, and especially for me, to learn from. And I can safely say that one's experience speaks for itself, as I personally have gained a great deal of insight with everything you have shared in the last 1.5 hours. I hope you have had a great time being here with us in Zenevia as well. Looking forward to hearing from you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
The back and forth has got me so messed up. Don't ignore the signs. We've had enough of the whole damn thing that we got going. You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do